What's poppin', peeps? Welcome back to the Peep Lounge, where today our guest, sitting at over 2,500 subscribers and 7,000 listeners on Spotify. Rumor has it, if you cut them open, a bunch of honey will fall out. Ladies and gentlemen, Callon B.
Woke up in the morning and I started to feel like him. Like a weed, baby, I'ma mix the medicine. Feel like 80K, hydroplaning when I will.
I like the little confetti you put on there. What's poppin', Callon? How you doing, Chief?
Bro, we fucking, it's a good day, man. It's a beautiful day in paradise.
Absolutely. I love to see it. I love to see it. But I appreciate you. Like I said off camera, I appreciate you taking time out of your I know busy life to come chat it up, BS, answer questions, all that jazz. I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I very much.
Did you say BS?
The BS. Nah, but I appreciate it, Callum. Thank you so much.
No, bro. I appreciate you having me. I love what you're doing here.
I
feel like the community is always needed. Like this type of setting for artists to just talk and learn more than surface level about them. So it's just really
get
cool.
to know the person behind the music or their art. So and that's kind of why I enjoy doing this. I kind of like finding out about that kind of stuff myself. So I was just always like, why not just do it myself? Like I have the platform to do it. Why not just do it myself?
Facts. And I commend you for that. We need you.
I appreciate that. But Callon, I normally start these out the same way. I like to hear everybody's kind of origin story. So tell us, how did you wind up in the nerdcore community? Like, what was your journey to get to the spot that you are in now?
So just nerdcore or even further back?
You can go as far back as you see fit, man. Just let us know like your origin story. How did you get into music? How did you stumble across the nerdcore community? All the inner workings that you're willing to delve out.
All right. Yeah, no, we'll take it all the way back. Like I started rapping in elementary school, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So just for as long as I can remember. Yeah, as long as I can remember, I just had like a fascination with like hip hop and rap, and just from like the way I used to dress and stuff, people in my class would always tell me like I look like a rapper, or I was like a rapper. And because I would literally like memorize songs and like come to school rapping them and stuff, and people thought that was funny. So like I was bumping like Eminem, Ludacris, like Snoop Dogg,
all the poppin' peeps that were trendy back then.
Nelly was going crazy back then. So like I would memorize these songs and I'd come to school and I'd be rapping them. Me and like another friend who I'm still friends with, lifelong friend. Shout out Chan, man. So the people would tell us we were like rappers. So by like sixth grade, I was like writing little poetry and stuff. I didn't have like a studio or nothing back then, or a way to record or anything. Like, so I was just like writing poems and like penning little lines here and there and stuff. And in middle school, I got my first computer. So I started using like the sound recorder app that like came on it, and like a webcam mic. And I was like cutting little
webcam
demos.
mic. Oh no.
Yeah, the little webcam mic. The one, if you like blowing it like destroys your whole ear, like one of those.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The plastic like long one.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So like we were cutting little demos and like burning them on CDs and stuff. And some of my classmates and stuff thought it was cool. And by the time I was like a senior, I was like in a rap group, and it was 4 of us. And we were actually called, well, embarrassing enough, we were called the Gold Strike Boys. But yeah,
it's kind of catchy. That kind of has a ring to it.
Hey, well, it was like Soulja Boy era, lean with it, rock with it, snap rap type stuff. So it was like pop lock and drop it stuff. So it
Yeah.
was like that
Yep.
vibe.
Yep.
And eventually we rebranded and we were called GYB, Got Your Bag. So like that was the name of the rap group.
Yes, sir.
Fast forward way later, all those guys, kind of bailed and went on and did their own thing. Still friends with Chan Man. It's my man's, but he got a family and stuff now. But I just kept going. So I turned GYB into like a business and my brand.
Yes, sir.
Merchandise and everything. And I've just like I just remember burning CDs and mixtapes and stuff and just selling CDs at school, selling CDs at work, just slanging tapes.
Yep.
Before the birth of like streaming really hit.
Yeah.
So when streaming and everything started, I kind of shifted gears a little bit and started making more music, and just dropping stuff on SoundCloud, stuff like that, SoundCloud era. Um, and I was distributing stuff. So a couple tapes in, and I've been doing shows a lot, building, the little local buzz and everything, and started to really like branch out in my area of just other artists. I'm out of high school at this point, so like I'm hanging out with more like rappers, musicians, people more that I vibed with and like we're on the same page as me.
Yep.
And I remember I made an EP with some homies called Tokyo 270. So like these homies I was hanging out with, they were like, we're getting these beats that sample like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z
Oh,
and like
yep.
different things because like we liked anime. Like I
Yep.
was huge into anime and video games since I was a kid.
Yep.
And much like everyone probably did, there was like a small period where I like didn't get into it as much. I had a car. I was out there trying to do Lord knows what. So wasn't as much time for anime. But then
Yeah.
when things kind of circled back around, I got back into it. And it just automatically kind of found its way into my music just naturally. And I made a EP called Tokyo 270. And then that got the attention of a dude named Otaku God, if you know
Oh.
who that is.
Yep.
And he lived in the same city as me. So he reached out to me and he's like, yo, I heard some of the anime bars like woo woo, check out my music. And I'm listening to it and he's doing anime bars too. And I'm like, oh, dope. Like,
Yep.
cool. Around that same time, I had decided to start like trying to engineer full time. I had quit my job, went on like a tour up north, like through New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and different places, like living in a van.
Yeah.
And it was terrible, but it was also fun. It was a learning lesson.
True.
So I quit my job, done that, came back home broke. Like, all right, I was in school still, like taking online classes, like audio engineering school. So I just like opened up a studio. I got a little like commercial space in my town and set up like a studio in there, and I just started doing sessions. And that was around the time Otaku God to hit me up.
Yep.
And he came through, recorded some songs. We kicked it off, and like, oh, like this dude just isn't like a random rapper. Like I could see myself hanging out with him. So then it just got to the point where he would just come to the studio. We would just chill, watch anime, make music together.
Oh, yeah.
Let him record his own music, stuff like that. He was huge into Twitter. I was kind of still like in Instagram land,
Yeah.
Facebook type stuff. He was huge into Twitter. I used to be back in high school, but I fell off it for like years.
Yeah.
And he's just always telling me, he's like, bro, you got to get on Twitter. There's this whole like just community of rappers rapping about anime, making music about anime. Like there's any Twitter and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, like I don't know about it. And he had a couple songs get some traction like online. And around the same time too, he's like showing me artists like Krissa, Slick, Black Diamonds, different Free Soul, people like that. Joseph on Deck, if you know him. So he's showing me all these artists and just kind of opening my eyes to like everyone rapping about anime, doing anime content, this and that. So he's like, you gotta get Twitter. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I get Twitter. All these people start adding me. And I just remember one day, like I'm chilling on the couch, like watching TV in the studio. He like runs in. He's like, he gets like frantic sometimes if you know him. So he walks in. He's like, bro, put Otaku Underworld in your bio. And I'm like, all right. Like, wow, what's up? And he was like, this shit's finna blow up, bro. This shit finna blow up, and you're gonna want your name attached to this. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, fine, like whatever. Like, put it in my bio. And then I got people like Slick reaching out to me, like trying to do a song. Savade, he's not in Underworld, but he had reached out to me too and like wanted to do a song, and like all these people hitting me up and wanting to do songs and talk to me and shit. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, fine, that's cool, that's dope. A little later, he's like, you know, you need to join the group chat we got, Underworld, and like actually be a part of the collective. And I'm like, all right, bet. By then I had already kind of met everybody and talked to them a little bit. And I joined the collective and became cool with everybody, became friends. We was working, business as usual. Funny enough, though, still then we didn't know that Nerdcore existed. we just knew that there was like I knew who Shofu was. Like I knew people here and there, but I didn't know Nerdcore.
Yeah.
So when Slick and Hastic had a song called Bonkai, like kind of go a little viral and catch a little buzz online, and then Slick started getting a little more like eyes on him and people started reaching out to him. He did a song with Game Boy, he did a song with Rustage, and he was on all these ciphers. Then like all of us were just like, holy shit, like there is a whole hub of Nerdcore like that we had no idea existed. Cause like at the time we was like, we are the kings of anime trap is what we were calling it.
Anime
and
trap.
Like, yeah, anime trap and anti-trap, stuff like that. So we're like, we're the kings of these anime bars, bro. Like this and that. And then like we thought we were the only ones doing it. So then we found out about Nerdcore and we were just like, wow. So
a little late to the party then at that point.
Yeah, we were a little late to the party. Funny enough though, like I ended up finding out way later, like through my Facebook memories, that I'd actually watched an old Game Boy Jones video like years and years and years ago before I knew anything had happened. It was like a geek cipher or something. And I had no idea about him or Nerdcore still even then. I just watched him and was like, oh, I bet. But yeah, that's kind of the story from then to now. Slinging CDs out the tapes, slinging CDs out the trunk, and then you know, now we doing Nerdcore.
Shout out to you, and I appreciate you telling us the origin story. But you also mentioned in the latter half of the infamous Otaku Underworld, and and how. And you answered one of my questions with that story. I was going to ask you like how the whole formation of how you guys all got together, but you kind of already kind of explained it. But so I do want to keep talking about it because I know you guys are super close, and I know you guys are like, you guys are, at least the way you guys operate, you guys seem like you guys are like more like a family, like and you guys are just super close. So how did? Because I know you guys have done like tours and like stuff like that all over the place. Does it make doing all this music stuff and all that, does it make it easier knowing that you're surrounded by all these like-minded individuals like Black Diamonds and like you said Slick and Hastic and all the other Otaku Underworld, knowing that you guys all have like the same collective goal? Like how does it make it motivate you more is how I should say, knowing that? And is there like any competition between you guys, like to like, oh hey, Black dropped this, now I gotta drop something that outdoes that? Like, is there any like friendly competition, or is there like motivation or anything but within the collective, that or anything of the sorts within the group?
I would say that we definitely lean on each other for motivation.
Yeah.
Um, if it wasn't for them, honestly, I probably would have stopped rapping.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little older than probably most.
You
I'm
know, a good
like
day over
30.
23.
I'm 32. So, I had told myself I was gonna stop when I turned 30.
Really?
And yeah, and I joined Underworld 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Even when I had joined Underworld, I was kind of like I mean, that's why I opened up the studio. I was like getting my plan B in gear.
Yeah.
Um, and even when I joined Underworld, I was like, I'm gonna see how this goes. Like, I've tried to do the collective thing. It didn't go very well, locally, but I'll see what it's about. I'll see what this online stuff is about, this and that. And definitely Otaku God, Krissa, and Slick, who all had multiple like really strong moments in the community. Otaku God and Krissa had Shonen, which went crazy online,
Yep.
and Slick had a wild run. Like at that point, we like getting 1,000 views was crazy to us, and Slick started getting 100,000.
Damn, that's
Um,
crazy.
Krissa dropped "Fuck Gabby" and like blew the fucking internet to shreds. Like there was a lot of moments that were just kind of eye opening. Like wow, like maybe I'm a little closer than I thought I was,
Yeah.
and basically right when I was about ready to give up on doing music as a career, I kind of got the motivation and saw a little bit of success that I hadn't ever achieved before.
Yeah.
So, and I do owe that to all of them for one, just, being good friends, first of all, and being good to bounce ideas off, just being open and honest about feedback and how each other can improve this and that.
Yep.
Um, and just everyone kind of understanding the struggle. All of us come from humble beginnings and are kind of like just in that grind and
Yep.
in that place of wanting to better ourselves and wanting to do better. So um, I won't say competition as much, because if Black Diamonds does something extremely dope, I appreciate it. But
Of
we're all
course.
masters in our own right
True.
and in our own lane, and with our sounds and what we do. Like I don't make Black Diamonds type music. So if anything, I think we all just enjoy impressing each other and
Hell yeah.
showing each other that, like we are improving and doing better. And like, this is the new wave. This is the new
Hell yeah.
evolution of like where our art is going. Um, and like, I feel like we all want to bring Underworld and lift each other up
Mhm.
along with it, to
Yep.
just show to ourselves like this was what we thought it was years ago when we threw all this shit in our bio. Like
It's cra-
so
it's crazy that you guys didn't have like an official get like start. You guys were just kind of like, oh, put this in your bio, and then that was kind of like the start of it.
it
I
started as like a group chat more than anything.
Oh, gotcha.
Just for anime, music, games, just like people that wanted to vibe in the same realm.
Mhm.
Um, But then we started taking it more serious and had to kick a bunch of people out. And
Damn.
like, not that they were in Underworld, but it was like a group chat just with tons of people in it. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, like we're gonna do music now. Goodbye.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Those people watching this right now. Those people you
Right?
kicked
Yeah.
out. Those people you kicked out are watching this right now, fuming.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
dang.
but I also wanted to touch base because, obviously you being Callon B, I feel like you're one of the people in the community, one of the few people in the community that have a good understanding of how to market themselves and kind of
Mhm.
just market themselves not only as an artist but as a brand almost.
Mhm.
And obviously you got your whole B thing, you got GYB, you got the Hive, you got you just you've mastered the art of just marketing yourself and your brand and having that signature is like, oh hey, like that. Whenever anybody sees a B at this point,
Mhm.
everybody always just thinks of, oh, Callon B, Callon. So,
Yeah,
so
I get tagged in a lot of the same bee memes, or just like if there's a bee meme that goes like viral on the internet, I can get tagged in the same one at least like by 5 different people, and I just act like I'd never seen it every time. Like,
oh, but
Uh,
I wanted to ask is like, do you have any like advice for anybody out there who potentially wants to make a career out of this on how they should approach marketing themselves and what they should
mhm.
consider and think about when it comes to that stuff?
Yeah, definitely. So people, just based off of my own experiences and studies, and anybody that consumes anything, they say that it takes the human mind seeing something 7 times for it to register.
Mhm.
So it's all about familiarizing yourself with a theme in something, because it's like if you throw something against the wall and it doesn't work once, and then you switch to something else and you just keep continuously switching, then people aren't going to recognize it and people have nothing to associate you with. So it's important to pick colors, themes, something that they can associate you with. Like I chose a bee, and I didn't switch from a bee to a whatever other animal the next week. I've stuck with bees for years, and it's all about the consistency of just like driving that in. These are my colors. These are the things you can associate with my brand. This is my merch. It's familiar to you. So now, like you said, I have convinced a whole community anytime they see a bee, they should think of me.
I'm
And
brainwashed. Every time I see a bee, I always just think of you. So your brain, it worked on me. So.
yeah, exactly. So it's all about just building that
Yeah.
familiarity with a specific theme and an item, whether it be like a flower, a food, an animal, just like anything.
It could be legitimately anything. If you want it, it could be a fork for all you. For all, no, probably not that bad.
Asaph the King is Aesop the King. What am I doing? He's a great example because he's got waves, water, like hydroplanet, like he's got it down too.
Yep,
So it's all about just associating yourself with something
gotcha.
and using that type of dialect and lexicon in your everyday verbiage. You see me on the timeline all the time, like "What's good, Hive?" or buzz on over to the B save. Like you just got to make that your whole like personality and put it in everything you do. So when they see it, they think of you immediately. You know what I mean?
And it's got to make it so it's like one of one too. Like
Hmm.
you don't want to do something that's like multiple people are doing. Like you got to make sure it's unique and one of one and something that like that only ties back to you because you
Facts.
don't want to get confused with like there's probably some like very generic kind of stuff that a lot of people default to when they go to like branding and stuff like that. And that's the one thing that because I and that's why I always give props to people like you, people like Peso, people
Hmm.
just like you guys who like I feel like really got like a good grasp of what it takes to really emphasize your brand and have like a marketing thing that people always can associate. It's like, oh, that's Peso Pete. Oh, that's Callon B. Like
It
that
builds a business and a community.
true. And it's just like everything. Like if you even look at his camera, the Callon B's camera right now, you got the little like honeycombs in the back. You got the
Yeah,
honeycomb shirt. You got the
exactly.
GYB in the back.
GYB in
He
the
got a
on
little
the
hive up there on the like it's even associated with just stuff in his room, and that's just because he's literally just driving that point home. Like, hey, this is me. Like he can't be mistaken for anybody else. You're not gonna see anybody else, anything like that. It's Callan B, and that's me.
Yeah, it's my literal middle initial, so I just embodied it.
so I was gonna say it because I didn't know if like Callan B like B was actually like a part of your name at all, or if
Yeah.
that was just something that you did because you wanted the bees, or if you just like that was obviously a part of your actual name, and you just played it off of that? Because I was curious how you came up with the B and the whole
So,
hive thing. And
the bees came after. They found me. But the hive found me. But back in or middle school,
Mhm,
actually, I like ran track and I played sports for a short period of time. It wasn't for me. But my last name is Welsh. It's Nanny.
mhm.
So Callon Nanny. And my middle name is Bryn. Uh and people used to call me Callon Banani, like in sports. That was my sports name, Banani.
Banani. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
crazy.
eventually it just shortened to Callon B.
Oh, okay.
And everyone called me B. Like it's just what
Oh, yeah.
everyone in middle school and high school was calling me. Yo, B, hey B, Callon
Really?
B, like this and that. So when I started rapping, which was in like sixth grade, eighth
Mhm,
grade for like full like nonstop eighth grade,
mhm.
I was Callon B. That was it. Or Beezy. Like they call me Beezy, Callon
BZ's
B.
crazy. I kind of have the same thing because I've mentioned this on quite a few Peep Loungers, but my name isn't actually Dean. But
What?
it's actually my last name. It's actually just my last name. But
Okay.
the reason why I just stuck with it is because growing up in school and all that, everybody just always called me Dean for whatever reason. Dean.
Your full name isn't Dean A. Ling? I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
yes, shocker to everybody. I know this might hurt some people at home, but my name isn't actually Dean underscore A underscore Ling. Unfortunately, I don't know how to break it to you, but unfortunately, that's not my actual name. There's probably like two people who are crying right now.
Yeah.
but but
'Cause
so I kind of in the same boat where it's just like I was always called Dean growing up, outside of like family and coworkers. So it was just
mhm.
like it was just the easiest thing to do, just to have literally everybody just call me Dean, because that's what I've responded to my whole life. And so I feel you on people calling you, oh, Beezy. Beezy's crazy. I'm gonna start calling you Beezy here on out.
Yeah. I used to have a cat named that.
Are you, shout out to Bardock, by the way, too. Sorry, we were on the
Yeah,
topic of
Bardock
pets
was
too.
good.
Shout out to
He's
Bardock.
taking a nap, but maybe he'll join us later.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
If anything, I'll bring him on for sure.
Actually, well, a little bit later on, we got a question regarding Bardock. So,
Oh, okay, I'll bring him on then.
bet, bet.
Spoilers.
But another thing, and something that's really been the talk of the town, uh, and it's associated with you, is you're in the works of a distribution type, uh I don't know what you call a distribution app. What I don't
Part of it.
Yeah, but you got something cooked up that you're
Yes.
currently working on. And I see people lately been kind of upset with a certain distribution company. We're not
Mhm.
going to name names here, but
Yes.
you know who you
But
are.
you know. You
Um,
know who you are.
and I kept seeing you bring bring up GYB, that you're like that you were working on your own distribution company. And so I was gonna ask, like, what made you want to start doing like completely start up your own kind of distribution? Like, what was the Kickstarter with that?
So GYB is my brand in
Mhm.
business. GYB got your back. Um, and I've always wanted that to like just be something more than just like this is the squad, you know. So I went back and forth from having it a label, having it a studio, having it this, having it that. During that time, I was also finishing my master's degree program for entertainment business.
Mm.
I was going to different like music conferences, business conferences, and just like learning the industry more.
Yeah.
Because I'm very serious about that. And like, there's the plan B is to retry plan A. Like, it's music or nothing.
Uh,
Like,
True.
so um, I wanted to. I just know that independence and having that type of footing and it's very important in this industry, especially in the way that it's growing and it's evolving, and major labels aren't as prevalent anymore and aren't as necessary anymore, like now that we have the internet. So it's
True.
like I needed UIB to kind of to have my bag, you know what I mean? Like um so during this time I'm learning about everything, and I'm learning about like publishing and music business and how to just have ownership of my music, how to protect my music, how to protect myself. And I'm picking up all these patterns, and I'm noticing all these just like hidden knowledge, almost like hidden industry knowledge of that typical artist and just people don't even know exist, don't even know that they should be doing, don't know about. And the more conversations I have with friends and online, I'm noticing like no one knows these things. Like even, some successful artists in the community have no idea about these tools and these things that they should be doing to just make their music protect it and to collect all of the money that they're owed. So I had like created like a Google Word document and kind of like made like a checklist basically.
Okay.
And I would have like consultation meetings with people locally and like walk them down this checklist to see like what they had done, what they haven't done. And they would pay me to do it. So I was like, oh, like I don't have a job and I need money. So like, let's start pushing that out. And people were hitting me up a lot and had a lot of questions and were interested in it. And then I've put it on Twitter, and people in the nerdcore scene started hitting me up, and they wanted to know. They were willing to pay me to help them get their shit in order.
Damn.
Helping Underworld out to do it. And as it evolved, one of my best friends, his name is Hush, and we've worked together musically for a long time. He used to be the drummer in the Hive. He's produced for me a lot. He's also a cinematographer, and he raps as well. He ended up wanting to be my business partner in GYB, and we were trying to just figure out like what was the business, because like having a label is kind of played out. Everyone and their mom has an entertainment company or a production company and this and that. Like, what are we going to do that's unique? And just like, as he's like making me some promo material one night for this service.
Yep.
Of like, hey, let me help you register your music, get your digital fingerprint together. And he's like, wait a minute, people really pay you for this? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, dude. And then the light bulb went off in his head and mine probably like at the same time. And we're like, oh.
Oh, okay. So it was
So
like an epiphany in that moment.
it was an epiphany in that moment. And that was probably 5 years ago. We've been developing and working on this for about 5 years. I've just now really started talking about it because we're almost ready.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're fortunate enough. So randomly, my hometown is like a huge tech company, I found out.
Oh, really?
No, not company, but I mean town, and has a huge tech
tech town.
community. So like big companies develop tech and tech startups where I live.
Yep.
And there's kind of like an innovative hub where you can kind of go and network and this and that. And they had a challenge, like a contest. It was called the Incubation Challenge, where startups would pitch and kind of talk about their ideas and this and that. And they would choose one business and give them some investment and development and help get them off their feet. And we won. So over the past year and a half, we've been working with some great people up at a place called Sprocket, and they enjoyed working with us so much, and they thought the idea was so cool that they decided to partner with us. So me and Hush have 2 more partners now that are veterans in tech startup development, and they specialize in like automation. And basically, from start to finish, if you want to register yourself as an artist, and if you want to drop a song and register it, it can take hours. And that's granted, you know everywhere to go and you know what you're doing. And that's with like my help. So we're automating this entire process. And the way that the industry and the climate for dropping music has changed, and it's evolving over the year to adapt to AI, to streaming, to social media. Because every time a song is used in social media on a viral TikTok, somebody got to get paid for that somehow,
True.
some way.
True.
So all of these things are popping up out of nowhere, and a lot of the old ways that we are using to distribute music now are becoming outdated, and they're so concrete in the foundation they were built that there's no updating them. So we are kind of like on top of this wave and like leading this way of like getting our shit out first to create this new community, this new environment for independent artists to have resources, to have tools to manage their full career. And we call it the universal portal.
Okay.
And so we will distribute, register, help you promote, help you pitch, help you just do anything that I have ever wished that I had at my fingertips to make releasing music easier, especially because a lot of us do it weekly, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to have to post every day, to prepare for the next drop, to, it's enough that we have to actually make the song and think about it. Now we have to switch gears for content creation, for business, and we're just lightening that load for artists, and we're doing it at an affordable price and providing you major label tools and resources at an affordable cost.
Oh, hell yeah. I love to see that too, because like I said, I just keep hearing all these bad things about all these other distribution stuff and how many issues they have in today's day and age and stuff like that. And hearing all the stuff, just hearing you talk about it now and all the stuff that you got planned, like it really sounds like you really tried to think of every little aspect that went that, or anything that could possibly be brought up. Like you guys planned for it. It seemed like you guys put a lot of care and thought into it. Like you said, like we're in the day and age where like TikTok's prevalent and songs can go viral on TikTok and social media and all the promotional aspects of being an independent artist. And
we got your back.
That's true. They got your back.
Yeah. Like you said, dude, we put a lot of thought and care into it because it's for artists by artist at the end of the day. This isn't some company that was like, we could make a lot of money distributing music and they don't know anything about music. This is curated by people that are in the field. So
yeah, and they've seen these things firsthand. Like a lot of these, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume a lot of these distribution, like DistroKid and all those other ones, like they're just company ran. They don't have like I'm not gonna say they don't have the experience, but like for example, you've done this you've been doing music for what you said since middle school, high school,
a long time.
Yeah, just a long time, over a decade. So that's a decade of knowledge of stuff that you've seen shift and change over the time. Because hell, like you were saying, 10 years ago, the whole music scene like that was changed. Like streaming might not have been as prevalent at the time.
I was still selling CDs 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. CDs were still popping. So a lot of things have changed, and with that change, you gotta be willing to adapt as well. So just like I said, by the way you were explaining it, it's like you guys can be adaptable. So if things change in the future again, because obviously we're ever evolving, we're moving forward, things always come and go, yada yada. It seems like you guys have planned, like, oh, if something happens like that again in the future where something else might be taken over, you guys can be prepared for that and still be planned for that and still be a viable option when it comes down to that. So I really appreciate it. And it's just like that just shows how much you truly care and you want to help all these independent artists who might not be, like you said, that there's some people who don't know the inner workings, like they're missing out on earnings that they might not have known about. So having something like that to be able to having something like that that's got your back.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. It sounds really, really, really nice.
if people don't collect their money, fun fact for you and anybody listening, but if you don't collect your money, no matter how large the amount is or how small it is, it sits there for 3 years in limbo, and then it liquidates to the highest stake owners, which would be Universal Records, Travis Scott, Taylor Swift, Drake. So they're the ones getting your money that you're not claiming.
That's crazy, dude.
Mhm.
I'm obviously I'm not an artist, but if I was an artist and I found that shit out, like I would be fuming, especially
Yeah,
since I
as if
know
they
that
need
I
it.
could be having, especially when I know I can have it in today's economy, man. I
Yeah,
need that
facts.
money.
In today's economy.
In today's economy, I need that money.
So yeah, dude, we want to change. We want to change the industry. We want to revolutionize the artist experience. We want to put power back into. We want to give you a shot. And if we can use our platform to do so and to give you the tools to leverage the playing field with the majors, then that's our goal.
Oh yeah.
It's a passion project as well as a future business.
Yeah, too. And on top of that too, it's just like and you touched on this very briefly earlier too, that like the industries and like the record labels and stuff like that, they're not as sought after as they might have once used to be. And everybody, if possible, they try to like they do everything independent. Because most people have realized that they have smartened up and realized, hey, I can if I do this independently and I can do well, I could potentially be making way more money than if I was with a record label and whatnot. And that's just all the stuff I've heard. Obviously, I don't know like the inner workings. I'm not an artist, but it's just like having something like that ready and there for people, whether you're experienced already, like if you've been doing this for a decade plus independent, or if you're just looking to you're just starting too, and it just seems like you cover like everything, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
I just it, it, it it genuinely sounds like if everything goes smoothly, it sounds like you will be changing the game, and I love to hear it, man.
That's the plan.
I love to hear that shit. So I wish you nothing but luck with it, and I hope everything goes smoothly, and you guys are successful. Because like I said, that just sounds like what you're doing is a good thing for a lot of people, and is going to be helping out a lot of people in the long run. So I have my appreciation for that because I just want to see everybody succeeding out there too.
Yeah,
Shout
younger
out to
me
you.
thought once upon a time that success meant making it on 106 Park, MTV Top 10, Sucker Free Sundays. But older me has had my eyes open to artists that are huge in the nerdcore scene and huge online that the general public, like they're still just a drop in a huge pond that is the world of
Yeah,
artists,
true.
but they're very successful. Living good lives off of their art, and that's kind of opened my eyes, and this type of platform is here to aid them even take it even further.
Hell yeah. And it's just like I said, you just always have like a it just seems like your brain's always like just the conversations that I had from you just seem like you're always kind of like in business mode where you're always like trying to think of stuff and like innovate and like thinking of like okay what's like what can I do to improve on this and not from like a business aspect because that's where I feel like you also exceed very well because you're not only an artist but I feel like you're a very good just overall businessman and you kind of got your good understanding of how to obviously you know how to run a business because you're in the process of doing one um but just being able to like do both I feel like is highly beneficial because you can tap into things that some people might not be able to tap into just because
Yeah, it's a
they're not as
curse.
knowledgeable. That's
My
true.
brain never turns off.
And actually I'll ask since we're kind of just talking about it now. I have a question. This one comes. I took to Twitter as you know, and took some questions and topics to talk about. And somebody wanted to know. Shout out to Mark Wolf 08 on Twitter. He's like, "How much sleep do you get? Because you seem like a busy bee for real.
Not near enough.
You don't get your 8 hours."
No, never. The black circles under my eyes are designer. These are designer bags under
Oh,
these eyes.
I feel that.
um, yeah, I mean, Game Boy Jones has told me this many times. DPS, anybody successful in this community that people look up to and want their position, one common thread you'll find from them is, oh, well, how did you do it? Or this and that. I didn't sleep.
True.
That's how. Um, it's very true. I'm self-employed, so I mean, just as I was telling you, Dean, I literally was working hours out of town, and I finished a shift this morning, setting up an event, and sped home to do this interview with you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
record a feature verse after this, and then I'm gonna pack my bag and suitcase on the bed, head out again to
Damn.
be gone on the road doing a show for about a week. And during that time, my laptop will be with me, and I will be doing engineer commissions.
Damn,
And I have
bro.
like 2 GYB meetings this week that I got to do. BBB is this Friday. I do it out of wherever I'm at the time, a lot of times.
Damn.
um, so the grind
It's crazy.
is never, it doesn't stop. It does
And
not stop.
I'm gonna and shout out to I'm gonna reference something here. Shout out to X Phases Beyond the Booth, but he had Game Boy Jones on there. And I remember seeing this clip, and I don't know, if I'm not mistaken, you might have seen this clip too, because I think you responded. But it was pretty much a clip summing up, but it's just like, hey, if you want to succeed, or if you want it enough, you're passionate enough about something, you will always, regardless of how busy you are, you will always make time for said
Hmm.
thing. And just hearing all the stuff that you just said, about you being on the road for a tour, but on the same hand, you're gonna be doing engineering commissions, and then you got BB this Friday, and you'll be doing that from wherever you're at the time. And it's just like, it just seems like you're always go go go, and I'm always just so curious, is like, how the fuck can you do that? But I know at the end of the day, you do what you got to do because you're passionate about something. But it's just so mind boggling to see like the lengths that people go to for something that they're passionate about. Because
Hmm.
like I said, you obviously you care a lot about your brand, your music, and your business, and you're just so, like you said, you're doing so much. And me personally, just you saying all that is just, I'm getting burnt out just like listening to it. So like, how do you keep yourself from like? Because even if you're passionate about something, everybody goes through burnout at some point. Like, what do you do to like help prevent that burnout from you being so busy and just so all over the place? Because I'm assuming you do get burnt out at time from time to time. Is there anything that you do to kind of prevent it or try to prevent it?
I mean, if I have time, I'll read. I'll play video games every now and then.
Shout out Final Fantasy.
Um, yeah, Final Fantasy. I'll I'll hang out with my girlfriend, Diablo, shout out her.
Shout out
She's
Dia.
very motivational and
Hell yeah.
supportive, and that's important too, to have people in your corner. Um, I don't know. I know this might sound crazy, but I don't have the option to burn out.
Really?
Um, you know, the need for success is like very prevalent.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, and it's just very dire that, and that's why a lot of people in Underworld and me, we vibe together, because we're kind of all in that urgency of
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
we have to do something, we have to make this happen. And like I said, I might meditate, do yoga, like walk bardock. It's like that. I know that might sound silly, but if I do get a little overwhelmed or something, I'm just like, all right, let's go on a walk.
It's good. It's a good clear your head moment. So
Yeah,
I
a clear
respect it.
your head moment. But dialing back to piggyback off what you said about the Game Boy thing, it's like, people say they're too busy. They say they don't have time for this and that, and they're, whatever. But you still find time to play that game you want. You still find time to watch that episode of anime you want. You
True.
still find time to sit in Discord. You still find time to do, like, you're not being creative enough with the time you do have to do it. And I do think one way I do avoid burnout, if I did have to say it, is I switch gears. If I am having writer's block and I don't feel like rapping, I'm mixing. If I don't feel like mixing and that seems like too much, I work on the business side.
Oh yeah.
So I have different things I can do to kind of give myself a break. Performing, practicing, just like I just do different aspects of the same
thing, but you're kind of just
activity.
switching up a little bit. So
Yeah,
go at a different pace, doing something different, which is also a benefit of you being like you knowing all these different things. Where it's just like most people, and I'm not throwing no shade, but most people might just know how to rap, right? They might not know how to do like the engineering side or the producing side, or might not have a business or whatever. So when they get burnt out, like
that's it.
that's it. And that's
Yeah.
why I always respect the people who do all that kind of stuff that can balance, like, oh hey, this person's an engineer and a producer and he can also rap and he's doing all this other stuff or whatever. Because
A wise man once told me, in today's like in today's age of like being creative and whatnot, like if you only know how to do one skill, you will be overlooked. If you step in a room and you're only a rapper full of 10 other rappers, nobody needs you.
damn,
They need business advice. They need a producer. They need an engineer. They need a video editor. They need all these other things, but you're 16.
yep.
So it's like you got to provide more value for yourself to fit in certain pictures and situations to stand out and thrive.
It's very very true. And I like I said, I always have respect for people who like there might be people who are really good at rapping and they might be trying to learn something new or whatever to try to expand upon that. And I always have respect for people who can take time to learn other stuff outside of what they already know that they can do, because it shows that they care and they want to learn just the overall, like as much as they can with space. Like a you or like a DPS is even a good example too. DPS can literally do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even some people who I know in the smaller artists that kind of do it all too. So,
Yeah.
and I always just have the utmost respect because I already know how hard it is just doing one of those things. So being
Mm-hmm.
able to balance all of those things, I I don't understand how people can do that. And like I said, that's just might be me just because I'm not a musician, but I just don't understand how people can do all that and drop as frequently as people do, and just stay on top of everything and just not want to crawl up into a ball in a dark room and just cry because there's just so much going on. So I always
I'm
have
not
respect for those
invincible.
people.
I've been there.
Yeah, just like even like I'm just a reactor, but there's been times where like I feel like there's just so much, like especially nowadays when I'm trying to plan events all the time. I'm doing these peep lounges. I'm reacting every weekend to everybody's music on top of getting everything edited on my own and making thumbnails. There's just moments where I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, okay, I need to like stop. I need to like just physically stop because it's just so much, and just seeing everybody being able to do that on such a consistent basis, just how the respectfully, how the fuck?
Don't be crazy like some of us. Taking breaks for your mental health, just taking a step back to analyze everything you're doing. It's very important. You don't have to be as crazy as us. You might get more done and have more luck doing that than we do. I will commend you though, because just in the few years I've been in Nerdcore, I've seen a lot of reactors come and go and do nothing when they didn't get their first shine by reacting to one DPS video.
Yeah.
And you have put yourself in this space and found ways to stand out as a reactor, from the events to the Nerdcore server to games to just being a personality and in spaces that you need to be. And I think that's really cool.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot coming from you. Hey, I'm just at the end of the day, man. I'm just all about like bringing out the community aspect of the nerdcore community. And at the end of the day, I just want to see everybody succeeding, eating, like doing their thing. Like honestly, in my opinion, I know a lot of people see it differently. Like I don't compare it to anybody else in the space. But that's just like I said. I just always downplay my stuff. Uh, but like I feel like what I do is very minor in comparison to what a lot of people do in this community. Somebody like yourself, like you're doing all this stuff behind the scenes that are going to come to fruition. Like you said, you got the GYB that's almost completed and ready to roll out and help people, and you're just doing all this stuff behind the scenes, and just like I still can't hold the candle to stuff like that. So I appreciate the kind words. Like I said, it means a lot coming from you. But I think I just get a really bad case of imposter syndrome when it comes to when anybody compliments me or anything like that. But again, I do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Um, but another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad that you brought this up earlier when you brought up Dia. But you and Dia also do this thing called BBB Battle of the Barbarian.
Yes.
I have to give you props on that because that single-handedly I feel like is helping a lot of, and I mean everybody who participates. It's helping everybody, whether they're already relatively established artists who are just looking to have some fun with the competition and all that stuff, or there's just smaller artists who might be joining and looking for feedback and critiques and criticisms and stuff that they might be doing right and wrong and stuff like that. And I feel like you really got a good thing. You and Dia got a lot of good thing. You got a good thing going. And you guys have been obviously pretty consistent with it. You guys do stuff like what almost every couple of weeks. You guys are
every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's crazy that you guys have kept up with it for every 2 weeks since like April? What was it? Like March, April?
Our 12th episode is this Friday.
Damn, you're already on 12?
Yeah, so 6 months.
Dude, that's crazy. But I have to give you guys props. But what was the did you guys when you guys did that first episode of BBB, was this the intention? Did you guys expect it to go this long and this ongoing, or was it just originally like a one-off, one and done? Like, what was the plan behind when you guys had that plan?
So I honestly can't take credit for anything because this was all Dia's idea.
Really?
It was all her plan. She came to me and was like, I wasn't around for this, but apparently in one of her servers sometime back, she used to have like these little freestyle like rap battle like things and just like VC sometimes. And she like came to me and was like, I want to bring that back and I want to like do something like that, but I want it to be a little more like structured and organized and make it like a series. Yeah. And this and that, just to kind of, like you said, shed eyes on producers, shed eyes on artists, kind of like introduce new artists, new producers to people, have guest judges, just kind of make it like a community event. And because she's been kind of like flourishing into her own things, like becoming a streamer, becoming a content creator, wanting to do another aspect of like what you and other reactors do, but it's like be the source of information, the source of news, the source of like whatever in the community, and creating, you know, she has a podcast too that she does the opposite week of BBB. So she came to me and she's like, I really want to do this rap contest. Like, would you be down to be a guest judge on the first one? And I'm just like, yeah, I'll definitely do that. And, you know, I'll help you more. Like, I would love to just get behind the idea and help you make it happen. So, it was her idea.
Oh, yeah.
And she wanted it to be a series and ongoing, but we were definitely not expecting or whatever. We're just like, let's just see how it goes, and if it goes well and people have fun, we'll do another one. And as long as people are having fun with it and they're liking it, then we'll continue to do it. And next thing we have an active Discord server that
That's
all
crazy.
the past participants and producers and judges are all in, and it's just kind of turned into this hub of artists that want feedback, improvement, and want to build their creative identity. So it all kind of just still ties back into everything that I'm doing. And on top of that, it's just hip hop.
True.
As a fan of the culture, as an appreciator of the culture and the genre, just rap battles, ciphers, freestyles, things of that nature. The combative, hip hop as a sport is what they always like to throw around. Just the idea that this was like the embodiment of that in this scene that we wanted, that we felt like it was missing. She felt like it was missing, and she wanted to bring into it. So I just kind of got behind it and got my little wings buzzing, and and here we are. I'm super happy with it. A
I was gonna
lot
say,
of great artists like Schwabity, McGuire. We got Mir and JHB and Mari and Wolf Boy involved on this upcoming one on Friday. But a lot of artists in the community have got behind it. A lot of great producers we haven't used the same producer once.
I was gonna
So
say,
a lot of great producers.
seem like you guys are bringing an emphasis on like bring it in and stuff like that. Like I know, and that's one thing I've noticed, that you guys haven't used the same producer. I mean, you guys outside like you and Dia, you guys don't really have like the same judges. You guys just always keep things fresh and bring in new people, whether on the judges or the producers, and just introducing a lot of these people to a certain producer that they might not have known of before, but now because of BBB, they might think that this dude's dope and want to get a legit beat for a song from him. And that's why I think BBB is helpful in more ways than one, because there's so much stuff that can come from it. Like as a judge perspective, if you get like somebody like a Schwabity or somebody like that on there, and they see like, oh shoot, this verse was really good. I like the way this guy was flowing. I never heard of this dude before. Like you put Schwabity on a new artist, all these new producers. You put people onto producers. You're improving people's rapping abilities by constantly doing stuff like so. There's just so much good that is coming from this BBB, and that's why I wanted to shed some light and show appreciation to it. And shout out to Dia too. Make sure y'all go show love to Dia for coming up with it, because it just seems like there's just a lot of good stuff that come from it. And it's like, and what you said that you were coming up on episode 12, correct?
Yep, this Friday.
Yeah, and it's just so like it seems like there's, even after 12 episodes, they're getting more and more popular still. Like they're still popping off every single time, and it doesn't look like it has any plans of stopping anytime soon. So I wanted to make sure I gave you today, you and Dia, your props on this, because like I said, it just seems like there's just a lot of good that comes from BBB and just everything surrounding it. Just overall the community engagement. So I wanted to give you guys your flowers on that one. Big ups.
Appreciate you. Shout out to BBB community.
Yeah, shout out to BBB. Like again, shout out to Diablo Venenosa. Make sure you guys go show her some love as well.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was her brainchild. I have to make sure I give her proper credits as well for it. But I just love BBB and what you guys are doing over there. Like I peep all the streams. I might not be active in them, but I like watching them, and stuff like that. And that's one of those things. Is just, man, like that's something that I hope to try to, like, if I can come up with. I mean, I got these Peep Lounges, stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to be able to kind of do in the future. Come up with like events and stuff like that, kind of like help everybody. I just hate that Dia beat me to. I'm kidding.
It seems like you got cool stuff curating though, that I like. And
wait, well, this will come out after the fact. But I'll have like a Nerdcore charity concert like this Friday as well. So I'm organizing that with a bunch of people. like I got events going on, but I'm always just trying to think of like, okay, what is something else I can do? What is something else that I can do? And it's just like when I see people, it's like, oh hey, I'm gonna be doing this. It's like, fuck, I wanted to do that. Now I'm gonna look like I'm copying that dude. Like fuck. Oh, and so like I started doing these interviews, and the next thing you know, X-Face started doing them. I think Frost put out a tweet regarding someone was like, no, please, like let me have this. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Let me have this. Well, shout out to you guys for real, and because you and Dia do a lot of good for the community with that BBB. So big ups to you.
Yes, subscribe to my sweetie so she can support my rap career.
Absolutely. Go everybody go show Dia, like I said, go show Dia some love, whether it's on social media, whether you go pop into her streams, whatever it might be. Make sure you guys go show Dia some love. And if you guys want to see more BBB, make sure you definitely go show her some love. But shout out to you on that. But Alan, I got, as I asked you earlier, I have a little stockpile of a few questions and topics from people on Twitter who are asking today's burning question. So I got a couple of them for you. And for this one, I'm gonna bring this one up first because it's the best one. This one pertains to Bardock. For people at home who don't know, Bardock is Callon B's dog.
Oh, actually, I didn't even notice because it's dark. He has joined us.
This question pertains. Look at that little. Like, how can not looking at that face make your day better, man? I swear to God. But this person,
my special boy.
This one comes from Mr. Memologist.
Oh gosh.
He's like, how many baby mamas does Bardock have?
Well,
does he be a player like
Memologist mom? Bardock is actually Memologist's father.
That's great. Hey,
and the whole Saiyan race.
And the whole Saiyan. Oh damn! So he was pumping children out left and right.
Yes, basically. Yeah, no, Bardock really be in these streets. He is, he got bitches. Bardock got bitches for real.
He got Riz, man. Bardock got that puppy Riz. You know? How long have you had?
Special boy.
How long have you had Bardock?
3. He just turned 3 years old.
Oh, so he's still a little young pupper then.
Yeah, I got him like right when he was born, pretty much.
Oh, so that makes it even nicer too. Is watching like being there as it fully grows up from a puppy into a full blown. Oh, I like that. I like having pets from like kittens or puppies. And
I take him with me on the road, everything.
Oh, you take him on the road with you?
Yep.
So wherever you go, he goes.
Yep.
So is he going on tour
for the
with
most
you?
part? Sometimes I let somebody watch him, but I try to take him with me everywhere.
Gotcha. So how do you normally do you travel like by van, by vehicle, or how do?
Yeah, I'll drive and stay somewhere. If I don't have a friend there, I'll leave Bardock with somebody, and I'll just sleep in my car.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll shower at Planet Fitness.
Really? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of anybody doing that.
Hey man, it's just the grinds. What has to be done.
And that's one thing too, is it's like you seem like you're willing to do a lot to do what you got to be able to do. Like you said, you mentioned earlier that you were broke, you were living in cars and stuff like that, and just like I could never imagine what that's like. But at the same time, I have an immense amount of respect for people who are willing to sacrifice that kind of stuff in order to really like invest in yourself and invest in what you're doing. So big ups to you, man. I couldn't imagine like sleeping in vehicles and showering at gyms and stuff like that. I could never imagine like that.
Yeah, it's not always glorious, but it's part of the journey. I'm getting material ready for my biopic whenever I'm rich.
Callon B. No, what would be the title of the biopic?
The biopic.
The B. Was that just something that you could come up with on the spot?
Yeah. There actually is one already. It's called the B movie.
Oh, that's crazy because I didn't include it, but somebody did bring up the B movie as a question. I can't remember who it was. Somebody mentions like how does it feel after you writing your biography, aka the B movie? or so,
I'm
some
so
other.
fake, bro. I never saw that movie until recently when Dia made me watch it.
You never seen that movie?
She made a joke and was just like, it was like the B movie. I was like, actually, surprisingly, I've never seen it.
Wow,
And
Callon's
we
a
watched
fraud.
it right there.
Callon's a fraud, man. Callon's a
It was
fraud. He's not
good.
even a real bee, man. He
Yo,
doesn't even watch
so
the bee movie.
I had not. I was fake. I was fake for a while, but I did. I resonated with it. I felt their struggle.
Hell yeah, dude. And here's the thing. Okay, speaking of bees, I got another bee related question for you.
Okay.
This one comes from Ash or Karma. They had like multiple names in their as their Twitter name, but they ask: are jellyfish, as represented in SpongeBob, the true bees of the sea?
Absolutely. I definitely think so.
Bees are. I mean, I can see the similarities. Obviously, they both sting people.
They sting.
Yeah, they sting, and there's a bunch.
Even in
of them.
SpongeBob, they buzz around.
That's actually that's very true. That's very true. Especially
I wonder what a jelly hive looks like.
I guess we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, easy now. SpongeBob, you gotta. We're giving you the material here, guys. Do they still make SpongeBob? I don't even know if they still make.
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
they do actually. I think there's new episodes still.
It's crazy to see that's still going. But hey, SpongeBob, the creators of SpongeBob, the animators, just know we just gave you your idea for your next episode. Take us to the jellyfish hive or the jellyfish wherever the hell they live. Let us see the hive. But this next question, and actually this one has multiple questions, and I allowed it because of who he is. This comes from Jamar Rose.
Oh God.
At the man himself. The first question that he asks: when is the project with Jamar Rose dropping?
So yeah, me and Jamar have a collab album.
Yep.
It has gone through obstacles because he was stolen from us for about 9 months.
That's yeah.
Long enough to conceive a child, conceive a human. He was stolen from us. So the project got put on hold. He got back. We've been working on it a lot. We're waiting on someone's verse. I'm not gonna blast them, but they have not sent me the stems.
Huh? I was just gonna say, was it Eclipse? But that's just an inside joke between me and him.
Oh God. But yeah, we're waiting on one verse.
Okay.
He needs to send the stems, and then I can finish this last song, and then I'm gonna drop it. Hopefully, in Droptober, we will drop our full album.
Hell yeah, dude! So make sure you guys are locked in for when locked in on that when it drops. The Jamar Rose Callon B collab album. And if you've been paying attention to both Jamar Rose and Callon B, you would have seen they've already looks like they might have already dropped a track or two that might be on the album. So hey, yeah, go peep those out. Maybe get a head start on what the vibe of the album might be.
Yeah, that Rockstar song you like, that's on there.
Yes, sir. Rockstar, you guys just dropped a new one called UFO, I think. Is that what
we've dropped? A handful. So we've dropped 102, UFO, Rizzler, which is the one I just dropped. Rockstar.
Yep.
Hexagon, and we're dropping Foam Buzzin' this weekend. So we've dropped half of the songs, but there's still a half that you have not heard.
Yes, sir. So make sure you guys lock in. I'm telling you guys right now, lock in on that when it does come out. Hopefully in Droptober. But the next question from Jamar Rose. He's like, what inspired the dread?
So my hair, thank you, Bardock. My hair is really curly underneath the dreads.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I wanted really long hair, but I just didn't like managing the curls. Little did I know dreads were way more to manage. But I was at Bonnaroo one year, a big music festival.
Okay.
And maybe off of some substances.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Who knows?
On some substances.
And I just remember having moments with myself in my head, while watching some great music of just what did I want to do? What was the next evolution of me? Because At that time, I'd been making a lot of changes in my life. I had stopped smoking cigarettes and kind of changed up my health a little bit. Um, I had started eating a lot healthier. I went like full vegan.
Are you still vegan?
On and off.
Okay.
I eat dairy every now and then,
Gotcha.
and I'm not gonna lie, I have ate fish just like very occasionally. Sometimes when you're on the road and you're with clients at shows, and it's like they buy you food, but they don't give a shit like what your diet is. They don't
Oh,
ask, and it's like eat this free food
yeah.
or spend $20. Or eat this shitty peanut butter and jelly sandwich that I packed. So, I would say that I am full-time vegan vegetarian, but it's situational because I have to survive.
Yeah.
Um, but before I went 8 years full vegan. And I'm on year like only in the last year did I like eat a piece of fish one day. So yeah, cat's out the bag. I'm sorry to anyone that disappoints, but it was with good intention. So, anyways, I'm making all these life changes. I'm studying more knowledge of self. I'm learning about who I am. Um, I'd gone mostly sober and changed friends, changed a lot of bad decisions that I was making and things I might have or might not have been involved in at the time.
Allegedly.
Uh, so just kind of thinking about music and like what I wanted my image to be, what was next. And dreads had kind of just appealed to me, and not just as like a fashion statement and like how I thought they would look on me. And it was just kind of like a perception change for me. It's like, wow, I'm so used to everyone like being nice to me and praising me and really enjoying my customer service, and like now they don't like me. And my
I
bosses
hate
are
when that.
like threatening to fire me if I don't change because so many customers were like having negative things to say about me, and it was also just kind of affecting my attitude. It's part of the journey. So um and people treated me different. Basically, people treated me different when I got dreads because I'm this white dude that raps that has dreads. So I'm an anomaly just off top. So just the way people reacted and responded to me was different, and it was odd. Um, so I go into a gas station like a few years ago, and I'm like checking out, and the girl behind the counter, I recognize her from Lowe's. I used to work with her,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's talking to me and this and that, and she's like, "Wow, like your hair looks great, this and that. My son, he's been talking about wanting to get dreads, and maybe you could show me like." I used to do dreads for people too. Like I used to charge people to do their hair. And just a hustler all around. But I was like,
I
yeah,
was
you
gonna
know
say,
what?
you seem
Yeah,
like you did a lot of things.
anything to survive, bro. I haven't had a job in a while, so just by any means type of deal. But
Hell yeah,
she was like, yeah, your dreads look great. She's like, I used to work with this guy at Lowe's, and his dreads looked terrible.
dude.
And I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, that was me. I remember you. I worked with you. And she was just like, oh, she's like, oh my gosh. Well, I guess you did know what you were doing then, huh? And I'm like, yes.
Oh, I could just picture that, like, oh shit, like your
Yeah,
face as she.
she was so embarrassed. But and I get a lot of compliments on him now, and on TikTok people aren't as nice about it, but
Oh
I
yeah.
get a lot of comments on TikTok of people trying to hate on him or make fun of me. But it's whatever.
Hey man.
It doesn't affect me anymore. But part of that journey was just like knowing like, okay, I was comfortable in my looks at the time. Now I've reinvented myself. It doesn't look the greatest. I know it doesn't look the greatest. People are telling me it doesn't, and I'm having to deal with like my self-esteem, how I feel about myself, and kind of just grow with it and nurture them to look good and look better how I want, and
Yep.
then become the person that I am.
Yep. I feel it. And it's not as, I'm not gonna go ahead and say that this is as bad, but I kind of feel you on the like, oh hey, like everybody always loved you and stuff like that, and then when you changed to dreads, like it's just like the people's perception changed, because that was me where I'm at, and me getting this.
Yeah, I mean, long hair on a guy is just the same, is similar.
Yeah, so it's just like where I'm at, you don't really see a lot of where I'm at in the world, you don't really see a lot of guys with like longish hair. And so nobody really batted an eye about me before, but when I started going in phases where I would grow it out to like fit in a little man bun or just had longer hair, then people were just like, "Oh, you trying to be a woman, huh?" Or just made like
Right?
random jokes like that. I was like, "Bro, nothing about me has changed. I just wanted to do something like legitimately. I'm the type of person I just like doing new shit just for the sake of it. Like it's like there was no real meaning for me to do that. It's just like I just wanted to grow my hair out for a little bit. Like
I'm a
it's like
fucking rock star.
yeah, I'm a fucking rock star, man. So it's just like I kind of like I'm not gonna say I had it as like it was on the same level as you, but I kind of feel where you're coming from with that whole
Mm-hmm.
like people looking at you like a little bit differently because because my hair is different. I never
Cut your
understood
hair.
exactly. Even my own mother does not like my hair like this. I'm like, Mom, if I ever cared what you thought, I would have listened to you all those times growing up. But I just never understood that kind of stuff because it's just hair. Like it doesn't change. Like you having dreads does not change who you are. Me having a man bun doesn't change who I am. Just because our hair like is different than what most people either have seen before or people know from you. Like you said, you have curly hair. You had curly hair just for the longest time, and before you had dreads. Like that doesn't change who we are, how we act, how we do things. We just wanted to do something different, man. Just like the
Right.
yeah. So I never understood that kind of stuff. But I didn't realize that you kind of had this whole like spiritual thing with like your dreads and kind of like a shedding of the skin and becoming like a new person and stuff like that. I didn't realize there was so much behind it. I figured it was just as simple as, oh hey, I wanted dreads. Like I figured it was just something like that. But I love that you kind of have like that is like that little story. So if anybody ever asks you, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. And then this next question, we got two more from Jamar, and then we'll call it.
Damn, Jamar.
But got another question saying, "How are you mentally?" That's it. Just how are you mentally?
Mm. It's chaotic. It's organized chaos up here.
It's organized
Um,
chaos.
yeah.
I feel it.
um,
I feel it.
hey, I ain't gonna lie, men's mental health is important. We don't talk about it enough. Things can be tough right now. I had to replace the transmission in my car. That's been
Mm.
tough. Um, I don't have a regular job that I can depend on like most people, so everything that I'm doing is very important. It's very vital. Staying on top of my shit is very vital. It can be hard. It can be hard to balance it all. It can be
I feel
hard
it.
to kind of stay positive, to stay on top, especially um, if you're not getting the results you feel like you deserve or you
Mm.
want, or it's we're all human. It's impossible to not see others succeeding and be envious or um, and want what they have. So it's impossible, especially when you're doing the same things. It just matters how you handle it and move forward from there, like dealing with it.
True.
So just like with anyone, I struggle. I hold emotions and things down a lot just to keep shit moving, business as usual. But that's why we create. That's why we express ourselves through art. And
I was gonna say you kind of in like one of the best fields where like if you ever going through some shit, you could easily just grab out the pen and paper and
yeah,
write about that shit. That's your way of like getting it out there and just being open and that kind. So I feel like being a musician in that aspect is is a positive when it comes to that kind of stuff because it's just that's a free way to express right there and let it all out. It doesn't even have to see the light of day. Just put pen to paper, like make like
been
a
a
little.
lifesaver many times.
I can imagine, and I feel like a lot of people as musicians that you can. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. But no, my roommate's rocking around, but yeah, so it's just like I envy the people who have that ability to they can like because I don't really like I had obviously I go through mental spurts too, and I might have days that are just mental downs. Um and I find it I always with the way I am, I always kind of find it hard to find that outlet or find a way to like talk to someone or just I don't have the ability to be able to pull out a pen and paper and just write about everything and stuff like that. So I envy you guys in a sense for being able to just is quickly just bring something out like that and express everything that you're going through and all that stuff. So big ups to you guys, and I hope you know too, because you say you keep everything like sometimes you like keep everything bottled up to keep the thing rolling. Like I hope, like you do have places to talk to, right? Like you do
I
let them
have
out at some
a
point.
wonderful, lovely girlfriend,
Oh,
and
yeah. Shout out to Dia. Shout out to Dia, of
and
course.
and I got homies that are just, we in this shit together.
Hell yeah, dude.
The family aspect of Underworld, my business partner Hush, we in this struggle together. So, we rely on each other a lot more than just music or good times. We bounce a lot of shit off each other, and I'm grateful to have that type of circle. I think that's important.
Hell yeah, dude. And having something like that where you can like, fall back to.
And a
Well,
friend like Jamar. Jamar is a great friend.
true.
We've
Shout out
had
to
many
Jamar.
a talks.
Shout out to Jamar too, and shout out to Jamar for giving us all these good questions. But this one's a random question. This is the last question that I'll have for you, but I feel like it's a good question. Like, where in the world would you like to visit the most? Completely random, but I'm curious.
Uh,
Have you ever thought about it?
yeah. I mean, I gotta visit the motherlands. I gotta go to Ireland, Scotland. I gotta
Really?
go to Wales.
I that's honestly I dig it because that's not an answer that you hear very often. So why there? Why like Scotland? Why Ireland? Why those places? You just are you just like
um,
very that like your ancestor like you're big on like the Irish side? Is that just a lot where what is it? Your DNA and ancestry or whatever come
Ancestry
from?
DNA.
Yeah, is that where all that
um,
comes from?
yeah. My name, Callon Nanny, is a Welsh name.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
primarily Scottish. Uh, and I got super into like Celtic and Gaelic mythology and studies, and I like their whole philosophy on just like resonating with nature
Mhm.
and different things. And it's really cloudy and not very sunny over there, and my pale ass ain't getting sunburnt, so
You wouldn't have to worry about that at all over
yeah,
there.
I ain't gotta worry about shit. I can go outside, uh, and not have to worry about
I hope you like
getting
potatoes.
burnt to a crisp.
I hope you like potatoes.
Yeah, I fuck with potatoes. Like, bro, I love
I
potatoes.
love French
Um,
fries. I love potatoes. I love all of it.
yeah, I'm trying to wear a kilt, blow some bagpipes, eat some potatoes, drink some beer, go to Stonehenge. I'm trying to experience it all. It just looks like a very pretty place. And then obviously the one that most people would probably say or expect is I do really want to go to Japan, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of people,
But
especially in
not
the
to like
nerdcore
be
community.
in the city and stuff. Like I'm trying to go out in the mountains and like see what these old school people are doing, up in the mountains. Like living
Yeah,
off the land again type shit. I just want to go check out really peaceful, pretty place. I'm an outdoorsy guy, so I like to backpack, I like to camp, I like to hike, I like to see things.
yeah, and I feel because I feel like as a lot, and this goes for a lot of people in the nerdcore community. I feel like Japan is going to be on the top of a lot of people's list, but you kept it different. Like you said, you wanted to be different, live up in like just live off the land, and that kind of stuff. Not necessarily like go to like the bustling cities and all the pretty lights and
Yeah, I don't
And
care. I mean, of course I want to see it, but I don't care about it as much. Like I want to go to Japan just because I love anime and like most of the things that I'm interested in are birthed from there, but like overall I want to go have like some cultural experiences and see where my ancestors came from, see what's good.
hell yeah, I like that. I like that. I like the Ireland answer because that's just different. I haven't heard that before. But Callan, that's kind of everything that I have lined up for you. So like how I normally do at the end of every one of these, take some time, tell everybody at home where to find you, what you got, the stuff that you got might got cooked up in the future, all your socials, all that stuff. Floor is yours. If you want to tell people anything, the stage is yours.
All right, gang, you know what it is. Buzz, buzz, hoot, hoot. Um, yeah, real name, no gimmick. You know where to find me. Callon B on socials, on streaming platforms. I be dropping weekly. So check out new songs, new content constantly. I did a wonderful my first cipher, Final Fantasy. I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy.
Yes, sir.
My passion project. Go check that out.
Final Fantasy Cipher out on his channel right now. In my opinion, one of the in contention for Cipher of the year.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I've heard that a couple times. That makes me happy because it was full on passion project.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to everyone that was involved with that.
Hell yeah.
Me and Jamar dropping our album Crimson Junk 2 real soon. We got the Underworld page going. We got Posse songs dropping on that pretty regularly now. We're like 4 or 5 in. We got one dropping next weekend with me and Krissa on the Underworld page. Callon B and the Hive, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We got some new music lined up. I just shot a music video that may or may not be out by the time you see this. If not, it's coming soon.
Hell yeah.
That's my live band for people that don't know. And working on music with them. I got some new merch that I'm about to drop that y'all can definitely get.
Dude, he cooking up everything for you guys, man.
Yeah, it never stops. We're always working on what's new, trying to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
GYB, the music platform, we dropping soon. If you would like early access to that, just hit me up in the DMs. I want to and encourage everyone to talk to me about it. I'm answering any and every DM. If you want to work, hit me up. I work with anybody, you know, you might have to pay a commission fee, but I'm available. You know, this is how we make a living.
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes, sir. And
BBB every other Friday.
Yes, sir.
It'll still be going by the time you see this.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who the beats will be by the time you see this, but just know they probably fire.
Absolutely. I haven't heard a beat that isn't fired yet. So
yeah, but follow Dia, help her become a famous streamer so she can support my rap career.
Have Dia support his rap career.
Exactly. Or help my rap career so I can pay for her nails to be done, whichever happens first.
Or support both of them so they can support each other together.
To the top. The king and the queen bee.
Yeah, the king and queen bee of the hive. But
Bardock starts his OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding.
I can picture it already. Bardock starting his own little OnlyFans for dogs. That he's just like this whole new thing. It's just strictly for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But no, shout out to Callon, and guys, if you guys are at home watching this and you're a fan of the Peep Lounge, but you might not be as familiar with Mr. Callon B over here, I highly recommend you guys go check him out, go show him some love, because this dude, and I'm going to assume you guys obviously who watch this know this, but he's filled with so much knowledge, and he's got a lot of wisdom when it comes to just being a musician, and just being an independent musician. And like he said, he's working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes to help as many people as possible. And on top of that, he's a tremendous artist. So I highly recommend you guys go check him out, whether it's on your streaming services, whether it's on YouTube, whatever. Go support it. Go support him. Go check out his stuff. Go run up his numbers. Go support. Dude is mad talented and one of the hardest working people that I personally have seen. So Callon, again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to hop on here for a little bit, chat and BS a little bit. And let me know down in the comments, guys, who is somebody that you guys want to see on a future episode, and I'll try to make that happen. But like I said, make sure you guys go show Callon the love that he deserves. All of his links will be in the description, his streaming, his YouTube, all that jazz. Go show him some love. Go hype him up, as he absolutely deserves it. But until next time, make sure you guys are staying safe, taking care of yourself. Tell a loved one that you love them. At the end of the day, you just never know. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.